Our observation from over 30 years in the executive leadership industry is that organizations who rely solely on traditional interviews for their hiring practices often discover after the fact that they've hired the wrong person or that their new hire is on the wrong seat in their organization's bus. Traditional, unstructured interviews alone cannot predict a candidate's performance or their potential effectiveness, and actually have anecdotally proven to be totally flawed and even laced with subjectivity and bias. The wrong hire costs your organization time and money, and damage to the culture. Research indicates that personal interviews have limited predictive validity for determining future leadership performance. So we'd like you to rethink your leadership selection process to give you the best chance to select the best fit candidate. What if, with just a few easy tweaks and additions to your traditional interview process, you could increase your likelihood of selecting your best fit candidate? What if we could understand a candidate's beliefs and values and passions and purposes and what they're committed to prior to hiring them? What if you had a science-based profile for each candidate that gave key information about their leadership and their work styles? What if you had a data-based onboarding and coaching plan for your new hire before they even started the job on day one? And what if you could somehow control for the fact that some people might just be good at interviewing and knock your interview out of the park, but then later you find out they're just not a great fit for your team? Let me give you a quick overview of our process that requires a little bit of time on the front end of your process, but it will reap big dividends for your team, not to mention saving you the time and expense of a bad hire for your organization's budget and culture. Prior to your traditional personal interview, we will profile candidates based on research-based inventories and assessments for ultimate cultural fit using the science of psychological theory, real-world application of personality types, and behavioral analysis. By identifying candidate and leadership team behaviors, motivators, influencers that are active in your culture, we can match your candidates to your organization's leaders for a better fit and for positive results. By identifying the strengths and gaps of both your current team and your candidates, you will improve your likelihood of a best fit hire. If you've worked with Hulings and Associates in the past, you've likely seen a leadership team profile report similar to this one. You notice that it lists the 3 highest scoring archetypes. Those are the ones that the leader is familiar with and probably feels skilled in the attributes and talents that they represent. These 3 highest archetypes provide the leader with feelings of authenticity and energy and represent what the leader is focused on and maybe most interested in at the moment in time they completed their PMAI assessment. The 2 lowest scoring archetypes are sometimes called blind spots and represent qualities that are a low priority for that leader or attributes that are simply not in their wheelhouse and maybe just not in their comfort zone. This particular team has strengths in the caregiver, idealist, and realist archetypal tools, but they may have blind spots in their seeker and creator tools. Seeker and creator would be a gap for this team. If this team is on the cusp of visioning their future for the next 5 years, which would be a creator strength, or if they're searching for new opportunities, which would be a seeker strength, that are maybe research best practices, which would be a sage strength, and they only have 1, they might want to consider a candidate who has talents in those areas given that gap on their team. Our tweak to your personal interview process not only provides you with a leadership team summary like this one, but also includes gap analysis questions to consider regarding building your leadership team's collective strengths, such as, is there a gap that your new leader needs to fill? We also provide archetype scenario interview questions to determine candidate competency and alignment. You will also receive a detailed report, like this one, about each candidate, encompassing both conscious and unconscious processes, lifelong and situational tendencies, and preferences for behavior. You're going to take a peek at a candidate's deepest inner self. You can compare candidate data with the data of your current leadership team to determine if the personalities will be complementary and really help appreciate the differences in the people on your team. You will have the data to fill the gap on your team. Gap analysis is a key difference between us at Hulings and Associates and others. We do not claim to find you the perfect candidate because all candidates and organizations have gaps. We will identify the gaps and we will create coaching scripts to help manage those gaps. We will help you find the best candidate and then augment their gaps and your organizational gaps to assure your success. We would love to support you as you rethink your leadership selection process. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can do so using info@hulingsandassociates.com. Thanks for your time.